This morning, police in Philadelphia are looking for the vandals that hit a Jewish cemetery. Between 75 to 100 headstones were overturned. This happened Saturday night.
So police are still looking for a motive. They're still trying to figure out who did this. This is a week after that Jewish cemetery in Missouri was targeted, the one that the vice president went to help clean up. Our correspondent Allison Kostick is live in Philadelphia with the latest. Good morning.
Good morning. We are at the Jewish cemetery where these headstones were damaged, were broken into two. But what's interesting about this story, Poppy, is that you're seeing the community actually come together. You're seeing Jews, you're seeing Christians, you're seeing Catholics, you're seeing Muslims come together to try to fix what was done to this cemetery on Saturday night. In fact, a rabbi who came here on Sunday after the vandalism here at this cemetery went on Facebook and talked about how he saw Muslims come to the cemetery on Sunday and help fix some of these headstones that had been damaged or destroyed. Also, one other thing to think about is investigators are being careful in calling this a hate crime. They're not yet calling it a hate crime. They're not yet calling it an anti-Semitic act, especially since 2 weeks ago, 2 miles from here at a Catholic cemetery, something similar had happened to about a dozen or so headstones. So officials are being very careful in calling it a hate crime or an anti-Semitic act. Back to you.
Horrible to see, regardless. Allison, thank you for the reporting there. Let us know when you have more. Meantime, we want to take you to Kansas because the suspect in the shooting of 2 Indian immigrants in Kansas is due in court later today.
One of the victims was killed, the other survived. Adam Purington is being held on $2 million bail and charges of murder and attempted murder. The FBI is trying to determine right now whether this was a hate crime. It comes as we learn more about the moments leading up to the arrest. Ryan Young in Kansas with the very latest. Ryan, what are you learning?
John, we learned that accused shooter apparently traveled to an Applebee's 70 miles away from that shooting scene and was talking to a bartender. She's apparently the one who called 911, telling them that they wanted police to come very quickly and not to make a big noise when they showed up because they were scared what the man would do inside the bar. But according to her, she told police about the fact that he admitted to doing the shooting. Now, back at that bar, the 2 friends were watching basketball. Apparently, this man walks in and starts saying, "Get out of my country." And once he was kicked out, he came back with a gun later on, opening fire inside that bar. And this is according to witnesses inside that bar. One of the men inside jumped up and tried to stop him from continuing with the shooting. He was shot once in the arm and the chest. Just yesterday, there was a huge rally of support for all the members of this community. About 1,000 people showing up to show their support for not only the family members who lost someone, but for the Indian people in this community. A lot of folks still shaking their heads about exactly what happened here. We'll learn more today in court about exactly what happened in that hour preceding that shooting, which has so many people still shaking their heads.
All right, I can understand why. Ryan Young for us in Kansas. We'll get more on this as it develops. Thanks so much, Ryan.